My name's Jim Toomey. I draw a syndicated comic strip called Sherman's Lagoon.
The key word is passion. You've got to have passion, you know?
And say, Greg, you're not going to believe this. They think they've got ivory bills in Florida.
I'm a native Floridian, and I love the Florida Aquarium.
Welcome to Evening Tide Talk, sponsored by the Wachovia Foundation. I'm here with Roberta Fernandez, who's founder and president of Planet Partnership. Could you share a little bit about what you do and what your organization is all about?
Sure. Planet Partnership is a sustainability education company, but the majority of our work is spent educating businesses and organizations how to be more sustainable in their practices.
Excellent. Now, we've used the term sustainability. Could you define what that term means to you?
Sure. I think it means a little something different if you're a business or you're an individual, but in general, sustainability means the ability to meet our own needs and yet continue to meet the needs of future generations.
Now, have you noticed a difference in perception? You talk about the political charged atmosphere that sometimes surrounds climate change, but over your experiences after an Inconvenient Truth and some of the work that you've done, have you seen a change from then to where we are today in 2010, almost 2011?
That's a very interesting question, honestly. I can't say yes. I think that there is an awareness that we have now that we didn't have before. I think there's a much greater polarization in that issue. I personally believe Al Gore is the best thing and the worst thing to happen in the issue of climate change. He, because of his position, he was able to bring it into the public view. Climate change is not a new issue. It's been around for a very long time. There's been lots of important people talking about it, but he was able to bring it into the public arena in a way that no one else had been able to do. And that's a blessing. But because of the fact that he is a political figure, and at the time that was shortly after that election, that famous election, that really polarized the different political parties, it made it a very political issue. And I find that to be extremely unfortunate because it is preventing us from looking at those issues in a reasonable way, in a scientific way. So you have people manipulating lots of the data on both sides. On both sides, you have lots of extremism, and I think that really hurts our efforts overall to just sit down and say, okay, what's reasonable for us to do to address this issue? What I like about the field of sustainability is that it allows me to look at lots of other issues, a bigger picture, not focus so much on one particular environmental issue, but just the fact that we are going to have water shortages. I really think that's a much more short-term critical issue that people aren't even talking about yet. Issues of waste and obviously energy and climate change comes into that as a symptom of all of that. But a way to empower individuals to say, a broader way to say, you can make a difference. So that's what appeals to me about sustainability, and being able to work at that at the organizational level or the business level takes that to the individuals in a way that is effective, because I can have access to many people at one time through their employees and doing training and that kind of thing. So it's a very effective way, I think, to reach people with a bigger, broader picture.
Right. Now, you referenced our children and the next generation. If you were to encounter a 10-year-old, for example, and they said, I feel helpless, what are some simple things I can do to make a difference in the world? And you had just a few minutes to share your thoughts. What are some things you might share with that?
Well, the list is a dime a dozen. And I think the important thing in talking to individuals is that they don't have to be major lifestyle changes. I mean, people will like to say, well, you want me to live in a cardboard box. No, that's not practical, it's not real, and it's also not necessary. I think little things do make a difference. We talk about the old, which seems to be worn, change your light bulbs, use CFLs, now it's LEDs is the next generation and much more efficient. And people say, well, yeah, I've been there, done that. But the fact of the matter is, while people are more knowledgeable at that, of that being a tool to use, lots of people still haven't done it.
Right.
For various issues, for various reasons. So simple things like, changing your light bulbs to CFLs, inflating your tires properly saves gas. Just looking at your life and how you can be more efficient. Shutting the door behind you when you go outside. Turning the lights off in your house. Setting your thermostat at the proper temperature. Looking at your waste. What are you buying? Your water usage. Get those aerators for your faucets and those low flow shower heads. They seem like little bitty things, and they are, but when you look at the fact that we have 100 million homes in this country, the ripple effect of that, the cumulative effect of people making little changes is really powerful. But what's even more powerful than actually doing those things, the benefits you get from it, I think is the confidence that people get in being willing to talk to other people, being able to write a letter to their local politician or their legislator or their senator, and saying, look, this is important to me, and if you enact this legislation or if you approve this referendum, I'm still going to vote for you because it's important for me. The big changes, of course, are going to come on the legislative side and the technology development. That's where we'll get the biggest impact. But the reality is that people are a very big percentage of all of these problems. And until we look at the part that we can play in it and we change our habits, we still can't fix it.
Sure.
So it's my to the individual is, my point is just get out there and do something, just one thing.
Excellent. And we thank you for all that you do. It has been
Thanks,
a pleasure
Debbie.
talking with you because clearly you've dedicated your life, your professional and personal life, to making a difference. So thank you for spending time sharing with our audience all the work that you do and hopefully some optimistic examples of things that people can do to truly make a difference.
That's great.
So thank you.
Thanks, Debbie.